Star Smiley, singer-songwriter, and this is podcast number 5. Notice I don't have a guest speaker today. We will get into that in just a couple minutes. My next song, I already know, is not finished yet. There have been production delays. These podcasts are to fill in the space between the songs. So I select current topics to do podcasts about. Well, how about Trump? He is in the news nearly every single day. This podcast is titled, With Trump as President, What Will America Look Like? I keep hearing that Trump won by a landslide. How much did he actually win by? Per the U.S. Election Atlas, Trump had 77.1 million votes to Harris's 74.7 million votes. Or Trump won 49.9% to Harris's 48.3%, respectively. So, there are a lot of Americans who are not happy with a Trump presidency. There are also a lot of things in the current news that moderates and liberals, and maybe even some Republicans, need to know about. I think the people that don't already know would like to hear what Trump is planning on doing. Whether you voted for him or not, Trump will be our next president. I had a conservative guest, my neighbor, that I wanted to have on this podcast to tell us what Trump is planning on doing. He gave me most of the information I have here today, but he doesn't want to be on camera. With the politically charged atmosphere right now, I understand why he doesn't want to be on camera. With Trump being in the news so much, I thought this is an important enough topic for me to tackle this subject solo or without a guest speaker. Many people in my neighborhood are so glad that Trump won. They still have their yard signs up. They are still flying their Trump flags proudly. The people that voted for Trump believe he is good for the country. They are smart people, not dumb people. So what is all this about? Why do roughly half of the people believe Trump is our savior and the other half not so much? This podcast is not about the past, it is about the future. I am not a conservative, and I am not a liberal. I'm apparently one of the very few people left who is in the middle. I'm a moderate or an independent. I created the following questions for my conservative guest. Keep in mind, since I am not a conservative, these are not my answers. I have been talking with my neighbor, so these answers are secondhand and may not be totally correct. However, my neighbor is a big fact checker, which is something all of us should be. I would like to share what I found out with you. Disclaimer, even if my answers here are not all correct, I think this information will give you the gist what Trump's presidency will be about. This was what he was elected to do. First question. Let's start with, where is Trump coming from? Conservative answer. He is a businessman that is now in politics, that will soon be president. He wants to save our country from all of these corrupt politicians and bloated and wasteful governmental agencies that are running our national debt levels up to levels never seen before. Yes, that is a big statement, but could it be true? Absolutely. Nearly everyone has heard of a toilet from the government costing $1,000. Nearly all of the following questions will come back to this first answer. Question. Lately, I have been hearing about who Trump wants in his cabinet, and a lot of the choices have thrown almost everyone into a tizzy. His cabinet picks are obviously yes men, but many don't seem to be qualified or have the experience for the top jobs they were chosen for. What in the world is this all about? Conservative answer. He has included women for his cabinet. He picked 11 out of about 60 positions. Trump doesn't want long-time politicians in these positions. To Trump, our political system is broken. He wants all new, fresh people that he trusts and knows will do what he wants them to do. If they have a learning curve, so be it. Question. What about all the men that have cheated or have done other unacceptable things that he is considering for those positions? Conservative answer. Men that have cheated And things like abortion, etc., are not important when we have all these important things to fix. He needs powerful men and women. Our focus has changed. He wants to fix the government so the government is not wasting money. And through that and other things, he wants to get prices down for everyone so our government can survive and so our people can survive. Question: immigration. He says he is going to fix the illegal immigration problems. I know he wants to deport the illegals, but I heard that a lot of the countries where these illegal immigrants came from won't take them back. What is he going to do then? Conservative answer: one way is to withhold all types of visas from countries that won't cooperate. Now this is a big threat, but he may try it. Keep in mind, threats are a way to make things happen. Question: what about the illegal immigrants that are working the low-paying farming jobs? I've heard that we may have problems with our food supply if there aren't enough people to do that kind of work. Does Trump really think our American workers would consider these jobs? Me, I don't know. I couldn't find any answers on this, and my conservative neighbor didn't give me any answers on it either. So next question. As for coming over the border, I have heard that a lot of people have changed their mind about coming here, which means his tough talk is working. However, a lot of people will still come. Do you know how he will deal with this? Conservative answer: he will build detention camps on the border, and he will carry out massive raids in workspaces. He plans to end U.S. birthrights on his first day, and ending birthright claims would help. The illegal immigrants did come here illegally. He will deport as many illegals as he can. Question: the economy. We are currently in a good economy, and we are on an even plane. Since Trump campaigned to improve our economy, what is he going to do that hasn't already been done? Conservative answer: Trump will focus on expansive tax cuts for corporations and households. His goal is to reduce trade deficits. However, that might ignite a trade war and bring inflationary consequences. We will see. Expect some stock and bond market volatility. Overall, prices will actually go down if he can pull off what he's trying to do. He is trying to improve housing, food, gas, insurance, taxes, and goods and insurance. Question about the tariffs. Trump says the tariffs will go into effect as soon as he is sworn in. Everything I have heard says everything will go up if the tariffs go into effect. Canada's president was even here asking him not to do it. I know Trump wants America to be self-sufficient, but many things are built outside of this country for a reason. With these tariffs, what do you think will happen to prices? Conservative answer: the threat of tariffs to Mexico and Canada was to force those countries to stop illegal immigration here. It's hard to do this stuff, but it has to be done. Yes, he wants the U.S. to be as sufficient on its own as it can be. Prices may go up, but they will come back down. Question: drill, baby, drill. He says he's going to do this as soon as he is in. With this change, we should have near immediate relief from oil and gas prices, but this won't do anything for our warming planet. He will also pull us out of the Paris Climate Accord again. Doesn't he believe the scientists that say climate change is happening? Does he believe, along with most of the other countries out there, that the Earth is warming? Conservative answer: as for the Paris Climate Accord, the other countries were not paying their fair share and want the U.S. to pay their share. We can't do that. Yes, Trump believes the world is warming. It is a natural process that the Earth is going through. Since the Ice Age years ago, we have been warming every year. We will continue to warm until we get to a point where we start cooling off. And then, we'll start cooling off again. There's nothing we can do about it. As far as climate change, the Earth is naturally changing. Question: Trump also wants to hold us from a global pact to reduce methane emissions. Do you agree with that? Methane is natural too. Dinosaurs for 150 million years created a lot of methane. Question. Trump says he will open up lands around national monuments so gas and oil companies can drill there. Do we really need to do that? Conservative answer. Gas and oil is where it's at. We have to be able to get at it. Question. Elon Musk and his helper, with the new Department of Efficiency, will overhaul a lot of departments, some of which are overhaul our country's approach to energy, overhaul the Environmental Protection Agency, overhaul the FBI, and many more. What do you think of these overhauls? Conservative answers. Those agencies have just gotten too big and wasteful. They will be reorganized to save us all money. Question. With people running those agencies, being new to those agencies, do you really think the overhaul will be smooth? Conservative answer. Maybe not, but it needs to be done. He also wants to repeal parts of the Inflation Reduction Act, which means electric vehicles won't get a tax credit anymore. Are you okay with that? Conservative answer. With oil and gas flowing, there'll be no need for electric vehicles. Therefore, no tax credits for them, which means the government, we the people, won't have to pay for that tax credit. Nearly everything is made from oil. We will need it until it's gone. And then, when we do need it, the power will come from hydrogen. Question. I keep hearing that Medicare and Social Security are on the chopping block. Conservative answer. Per Trump himself, Medicare and Social Security won't be touched. There are too many topics to discuss here, like abortion, fair housing, diversity, education, Ukraine war, the Israel war, NATO, and Project 2025, etc. Maybe I can do another podcast on those with a conservative guest, but there is no time now. So let me skip to one last topic I know a lot of moderates, liberals, and some Republicans are concerned about. Question. Dictatorship. You know, Trump really admires the dictators, and he only wants yes men around him, which means the people that say, let's think about this, like the ones in his last term, won't be around to do that this time. He will be surrounded by yes men. The Supreme Court is his. The House and the Senate are Republican-controlled. He will replace a lot of high-ranking military leaders, which means he will control the military. Is that the least bit scary to you? Conservative answer. Absolutely not. This means he can do what he wants to do. He is going to reorganize our country to one that is safe and more efficient. And he's going to get rid of all the existing corrupt people, like Biden, Harris, Obama, Cheney, and Mitch McConnell running the country. This reorganization really needs to be done to save America from itself. We conservatives trust him to do the right thing. Okay, that was the last question and answer for today. Now I know that last answer affected some of you, but that is the conservative point of view. Keep in mind, I was answering for the conservatives, from the things that my neighbor told me and from what I have read and heard, since my conservative guest couldn't be here today. Remember, I am a moderate or an independent. I don't necessarily agree with all the conservative points of view. There are checks and balances in America that allow the people to have their say in the government. Otherwise, we would no longer be America. So we will see what happens with that. In America, we are all from different backgrounds. We all have different opinions about everything. The freedom to be who we are and to think what we want to think is what America is all about. I personally have thought something was wrong with our politics for a long time. Our country shouldn't be split 50-50 on which direction to take, election after election. This puts our country in a tough spot. I love America being a democracy. I love being part of a free society. And we do need strong leaders. Maybe Trump really will save us all. Who knows? America has always had a history of righting itself. So if America goes down wrong paths, which it has in the past, I believe we the people will get it back on track. It is okay not to agree with everything Trump wants to do. However, Trump will be our next president. It would be nice if all Americans could unite behind him to see what he can do. Change is seldom comfortable, so I suggest we give him a chance. Keep in mind, 49.9% of Americans believe we need this change. If something is really not in our comfort zone, we can always peacefully protest. I hope this podcast gives you an idea of what America will look like under Trump's leadership. It sounds like America will change quite a bit, and hopefully for the better. I was more comfortable with at least having some idea of what to expect. I hope you are now too. When you hear a newscast, you will now know what's going on instead of wondering what the F is going on. I know when there is change, there are always ups and downs. I just hope Trump's changes help us more than they hurt. See you all at my next podcast, which will be the Christmas podcast. Take care.